to round number 4 of the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship here at Azerbaijan around this Baku. For it's sure to be a very, very action-packed race, as of course around these tight and twisty streets it's very, very easy to hit a wall. But now I just have to mute myself ever so quickly once I get my stream up to make sure everything is working as per usual. Yeah, and indeed we are working all well and fine. So it's great to be back. Sadly I missed last week due to an exam around about this time, but we're back. And big thanks to, I believe it was JFD who commentated last round, so shout out to that. I know that Ed won in the end, so once again he's had a very strong result, as he at the moment is currently on provisional pole, if you can have such a thing as a provisional pole, in a one-shot qualifying, as we're on board here with Lazar the Greek. He's coming through the very tight and twisty, I can't remember if it's... No, he's still in the first sector, because it's after this right-hander here that signals as Lazar goes into the wall there. Not the best of laps here by Lazar, as we'll now make our way up the field as Val in the Alfa Romeo. Oh, that was not a good corner there by Val. He overcooked it too much. Coming out of the castle section, and that's cost him valuable time. So on board with Addy, who's had a very good start to his career here in the Nemesis Online Racing League. Now certainly F1 side of it so far, but it's going to be a drag race between Bolt and Ed to see who's going to get pole here. And Ed, I think he should have it, although he did scrub quite a bit of speed off there through those fast corners. Let's see if Bolt did get a better run on him, but is it going to be Ed, our championship leader? Is he going to take another pole position? And indeed he does. He takes it by about 0.3 of a second over Bolt, who then is half a second clear of Addy. So Ed and Bolt quite clearly the class of the field at the moment. As immediately Bolt is saying in the chat that he bottled it. Obviously we didn't exactly see what was the bottle, but obviously Bolt not too happy with his performance there. So here we go. We have Ed on pole, Bolt on second, third is Addy, fourth is Jay Hobson UK. A good qualifying performance by him. Fifth is Chiller Killer, fifth is Murcielago, sixth Murcielago, seventh Val, eighth, ninth Anel, 10th is Testameister, 11th is Lazar the Greek, 12th is Lolo, so I should say, 13th Danny, 14th Hefford, 15th the G-Man, 16th Skull, and 17th is Maverick. As we're now waiting for the drivers to load into the session, and I must say, very sad to see that Chazza is missing once again. He had to miss the last race because of the Grand Prix being on, so he's lost quite a load of points in the championship. Of course, our reigning F1 champion, of course, as he beat me last year for it. But Ed's main championship rival here is Addy, and he's already got quite a substantial margin of championship to him, already 25 points. So Ed will be looking to extend that here today. That's for sure, but he's going to have he's going to have Addy, Ragnar and Bolt all trying to chase him down. This is going to be Chaz's third race missed in a row. Super, super disappointing for him, as we now have to go through a whole 2.5 minutes of boredom As I hope you've all had a very good Sunday evening in Europe, and of course in America as well. And of course, it's very well. It's not. I wouldn't say it's very early. It's 7:45 here on a Monday morning, and it's certainly been a very good morning, and well, Sunday for me. Spam this bolt to help out Bolt. Come on then, spam it. Jake is supporting his mate Bolt in the chat. A lightning bolt, he's going to need lots of them. I tell you what, he could do with a Usain Bolt, a lightning bolt start. Off, of course, it is a very short run down into turn one, and a driver with his sort of experience, I don't think will be making too many risky moves into turn one, because believe it or not, the race is not won or lost at turn one on lap one, or on lap one in general. So I think that we'll see Bolt play it safe on the first lap or so, as of course everything is not decided on the first lap. But now finally the drivers are coming down the massive, I think it's over 2 kilometre back straight here in Baku, to finally line up on the grid. But I got a message from Maverick DC88 just before, after qualifying, saying that his time trial lap would have put him, I think, 5th, but he crashed into the wall at turn 2. So of course that isn't going to count. So watch out for Maverick in this race. I expect him to be pretty strong. As now the Toro Rosso on the back of the grid there of Skull is lining up. And now we are ready to get underway here for round number 4 of the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship here in Baku. And it's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And lights out, and away we go. It looks like there's quite a bit of wheel spin for both cars, but it looks like Ed has got a supreme start. And the Red Bull of J Hobson UK nearly chucks it down the inside. The Bolt there, but now behind the 3 wide, the Alpha, the Red Bull, and the Haas, and it's the Haas of Eddie that comes out on top of that battle. Always a bit of pile up in the background. Yes, there has. Maverick is involved, I believe. Lazar, Danny, Hereford, Testameister, and Skull, and the G-Man all involved. About a 6-car pile up there, as action is going on ahead, as J Hobson UK is putting Chiller Killer under threat, who's had a pretty good start up into P4, gaining some positions. And I did see earlier that is his birthday, so happy birthday to Chiller Killer, and that is a pretty good birthday start for him right there. As they're now all coming through turn 8, the castle section for the first time. I'm sure you'll see drivers be very tentative through that area of the track. Throughout the races, Bolt is sliding all over the place, losing the rear end, an absolute treat there, and very lucky not to come out worse from wear for that. As now we have Anel Tanovic putting Ragno under pressure. Is he going to make a move on to this very tricky downhill left-handed corner? No, he is not. He's not close enough, and Anel has much as a grand amount of experience in this league, and I wouldn't expect him to do something so silly so early on. But now we've got Chiller Killer in the slipstream of Addy as we're about to come down the main straight for the very first time in this race, and he is gaining a little bit on Addy, but I don't think it's... Of course, DRS is not activated, as Val is now being overtaken by Ragnar up the inside before turn 1. And that's a solo move there by Ragnar to move himself up into P7, as we have a whole bunch of cars now going to come into the pits after the lap 1 contact, with a whole heap of them. Mainly Testameister and the G-Man have been mainly affected by that. Of course, it isn't the easiest thing in the world to see which cars have damage, but Anel Tanovic here looking pretty strong to try and overtake Val, but a little bit of lag in the lobby it seems. Because Anel Tanovic actually looks very good here in the early stages of this race. He just needs to try and find a way past Val, as Val actually looks to be falling down the field. Of course, he's lost his position to Ragno. I think if Anel is able to stay this close, he will be able to get past, perhaps down the main straight, but more importantly, Oh, as he broke a little bit too late there. He did turn in for the corner, and you have to turn in for the corner, buddy. But we've got J Hobson UK all over the rear end of Chillicothe down to this very tricky braking zone. I think it's turn 13. I think if my memory is right from way back early in the season. Of course, this race happened many months ago. It's mad how we've only got 2 races in the F1 season left, and here we are in round number 4 in the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship. But now J Hobson UK is not opting to get in the slipstream. Buddy, get in the slipstream! It's going to help you go faster down the straight line, but he's looking to make the move on Chillicothe. But further back, as I'd mentioned, if Anil was close enough to Val, he would get past, and Anil has done exactly that. As Val tries to fight back, but Anil holds off with the inside line and moves up into P8. And I assume that Anil will now be will now be looking forward and going to try to catch up on the back of Ragnar. Speaking of Ragnar, he's getting close to the back of Murcielago. And is he going to throw it up the inside? Yes, he is, but has he gone in too deep? Yes, he's gone into the wall. I think he hasn't lost any of his front wing somehow, but now Murcielago trying to go around the outside. He just about gets squeezed out there by Ragnar, and that's fair racing, as now Murcielago just about slots ahead, back ahead of Anil Tanovic, but now Anil Tanovic doesn't even really have to fight to get up to the back of these lot now. He's already there. So Anil Tanovic will be licking his lips. He'll be looking to get past these two as soon as he possibly can. And of course, with the double slipstream and the DRS that he will get, I think that Anil could be looking to get 2 moves done on the one straight here, as he just about manages to hold and contain his rear end as he took that curb very aggressively through turn 8 or 9, as he's now going to try to get it done on Murcielago very early. That is a very nice move by Anil, but he's just hit that curb and gone straight into the wall. I'm not sure if he's lost front wing. I don't know if he has, but Anil could have just waited a little bit longer, where he would have got a hell of a lot of slipstream and DRS. He may still get the move done on Murcielago here as they come through the S's now. But let's see. Indeed, I think he's going to get it done before even the DRS line. There's the DRS line, and he's going to absolutely fly past Murcielago. But Chillicothe defending the inside line from J Hobson UK. He does so very well there. Does Chillicothe defends from J Hobson UK, and he maintains his 4th position at the moment. But Anil has stretched out a little bit of it. No, never mind. I don't know what I was saying. Anil getting past Murcielago, now he's going to be looking to get down Anil. Anil's going to be looking to get up to the back of J Hobson UK, as there's a little bit of a gap between those two cars. G-Man has DNF from this race as the 2 McLarens. Oh, and Anil's gone into the wall once again. I don't know what is going on with Anil, but I think he might just be struggling. He might have some damage from when he went in earlier at turn 4. I think it might have been. And yeah, I think Anil is certainly struggling, because that's like the 3rd time he's gone to the wall now in the past lap. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come into the pits very soon, as Murcielago gets past as he moves up into P7. But now J Hobson UK getting very close to Chillicothe once again through the tight and twisty middle sector of this circuit. And now he just needs a good run out of this corner. He's very close to Chillicothe, and he's almost got too much of a good run, as he could overtake already through here, and he has to lift off. Does J Hobson UK here, but he's still close enough. If he now puts his ERS up into overtake in the slipstream, and now with the DRS, it should be a comfortable overtake for J Hobson UK, and indeed it is. J Hobson UK persists and moves up into P4 in this race, and I tell you what, I think we might see a bit of a battle starting to emerge at the front of the Grand Prix, as the two leaders battling over first. Or as Anil Tanovic has actually retired from the Grand Prix. Has he just gone into the pits and retired? I think he has. I think that is a little bit of a rage quit there by Anil, which is unfortunate to see, because he was having a pretty good race until he started going the wall. But Chillicothe around the outside of J Hobson UK. What a move that is. And he's back up into P4. Fantastic by Chillicothe. really is now Testameister has also left the session. Sad to see some drivers leaving here, but it looks like Ed is struggling with some tyre wear, as this is the first time we've actually been on board the leaders this race, as there's been so much action behind, continuously non-stop, but Bolt has closed this gap to Ed quite significant. Well, he's been pegging away at that gap for the last few laps now, and he's got it within a second. He's got, which is also important around this circuit, because if you get that DRS, you're able to stay with the car comfortably. You don't even have to use a high ERS mode down the down the straights, and you can just save it or have it completely off in the middle sector. But a couple of mistakes there by Bolt through those last couple of corners has cost him a little bit of time to Ed, but he's still going to have that DRS and that slipstream, and look how much he's gaining. I wonder if Bolt's running a little bit less downforce than Ed, because he shouldn't really be gaining that much. He's gained about 6/10 in that straight alone, and that's quite a significant amount, and I don't know if he was an overtake or not. I probably should change the setting to have that out, but I've just noticed that Jay Hobson UK and Chili Killer are fighting back at it again, as Jay Hobson, he's trying to get past Chili Killer, but Chili Killer defends once more with the inside line. But now Jay Hobson UK in the slipstream. Is he going to go up the inside of Chili Killer here? Yes, he's got the inside line, but is Chili Killer going to... Oh, there's a little bit of wheel banging as Chili Killer and Jay Hobson UK have touched wheels there, but all is okay, and they continue on for the time being, as Chili Killer is doing a stellar job in defending from Jay Hobson UK here at the moment. And if I was Jay Hobson UK, I'd really look at investing in just being as close as I possibly can. Always, we've had Danny Abin Lahar retire from the session, as he's just down the end of that escape road. We just seen, and a little touch of the wall there by Jay Hobson UK, and now that's going to affect his run all the way down this long straight, down towards the back end of the lap. Could be a little bit of a costly mistake, but he should still be well within the DRS window. Though I say that, it's just about edging on the second now. He should have it indeed, but he's not going to be able to overtake when he's this far back. That's for sure. So, just one little mistake there by Jay Hobson UK is all it takes to make a little costly error. But we have both the leaders in the pits. We have Bolt in the Renault and Ed in the Merc going onto the hard compounded tyre. And let's see, is Ed going to get Bolt? Yes, indeed, Bolt has been held by his team as well. So got Jay Hobson UK and Ragnar into the pits. It's all happening here in Baku as Addy and Chili Killer continue on, as well as Murcielago. As Ed is actually just behind Murcielago, and that was a little bit close there from what I've seen. But now, as you can see, Bolt was 0.8 of a second behind Ed coming into the pits, and now he is about 3 seconds. So deciding to come into the pits on the same lap as Ed has proven to be a little bit costly there by Bolt, as of course he doesn't have to worry about a teammate affecting his pit stop. He could have pitted on whatever lap, and he's struggling on these hard compounded tyres with chronic understeer, and this is not good for Bolt. This is where the race could be won or lost here. He caught up a second and a bit gap to Ed in the previous stint, but of course there's still a long way to go in this race. Many things could happen when you got the castle section here on these tight and twisty streets of Baku, but certainly it does not help when you lose so much time through really no fault of your own, just having to be held in the pit stop to let through. As we should see now, the rest of the field peel into the pits to make their one and only pit stop of the race. What's happened to... Oh, Chili Killer's just got... Wait, what's happened to Addy? Addy had about an 8-second lead over Chili Killer. What on earth has happened to Addy? Oh, and Chili Killer sped in the pit lane. Disaster. Disaster for the Alpha driver on his birthday. That's not what you want. But Addy, he's obviously lost some front wing somewhere. That's because he was 8 seconds ahead of Chili Killer. I'm confused as to what happened here. I'm going to have to go back on my stream just quite quickly. And yes, he did. He nearly had a 10-second lead on Chili Killer. But all of a sudden, that was cut down. He must have lost it on the straight or something. I'm just trying to look back now. What on earth happened? And I have absolutely no idea what's happened. So that is extremely puzzling, as now we have as we now have an actual 4 car scrap here. Closing up to the back of J Hobson UK of Hereford, Murcielago, Addy. And here we go, speaking of Addy, he's going to look for a nice little switch back here on Ragno. He's going to have to go the long way around, but he's going to have the inside line eventually for this corner, and he will get that job done. You can't go too wide through there. But now Murcielago is going to look to try and benefit from that, but he cannot, as I think he might have lost some front wing down the left-hand side. It's hard to tell, of course, with these new front wings, but that was very close between the Ferrari and Red Bull driver. As of course we have Hereford and now Val also close behind, so there's quite a gaggle of cars as Val now trying to go up the inside. It's his difficult braking zone. Does he get the car stopped? He just about does. A very nice move there by the Italian driver Val, who moves himself up into P9. And I tell you what, he had a very good run through that corner right there, did Val. Effectively the last proper corner on the circuit, and now he's going to have the slipstream and DRS off Murcielago and Ragnar in front of him, as now he's gaining absolutely massively. We have the perfect view. He's now gaining on Ragnar. Is Val? He's now trying to get the slipstream of Murcielago. Is he going to dive it up the inside? He does indeed, this Val, and he just about stops it from going in the wall. I know what Val's like. I knew he was going to try and make that move, but it didn't pay out for him. Oh, and he nearly loses the rear end and goes into the wall. That could have been an absolute disaster by Val, but Val just being a little bit too ambitious there. Just take the one position. But no, he was greedy. He tried to get both of them, tried to pull off a spectacular highlight reel overtake, and he was not able to get the job done, as he'll now have to work his way back up to the back of Ragnar and Murcielago, who's squabbling for P7. Addy now pressurising J Hobson UK. J Hobson UK has been in the battles so far this race, of course, with Chili Killer earlier on as well. But it seems like the drivers are really struggling for grip on these hard compounded tyres. It seems like that castle section, which is already difficult enough, is becoming even more tougher as the race goes on. But Addy, now, if he can just keep it about this distance as he comes out of this corner that they're going through right now, he should be able to get this overtake secured on J Hobson UK. But we've seen that UK has been very difficult. Well, he actually struggled to overtake it at the... He struggled to overtake Chili Killer. But let's see if he can now defend like Chili Killer did from him. As now Addy opens up the DRS. He's on high ERS mode. He's not an overtake. He's not gained enough. I thought he was going to go into the rear end of J Hobson UK there, and nearly avoiding him. Nearly went into the actual rear end, as now Val has got himself up past Ragnar, as we just unfortunately missed that. And now Val is going to set his sights on Murcielago, but just as I've noticed, the gap is now 2 seconds between Ed and Bolt. But now Val is going to go up the inside of Murcielago. Oh, as they got Addy in the wall, as J Hobson has managed to get his way past. But Addy's in the wall. Obviously some contact has happened there, as you don't really go in the wall unless there's contact. An all-dear disaster for Addy, of course, who was second in the championship from Ed. And he's already 25 points behind, and with Ed in first at the moment, and now Addy down on 9th. That's not looking good for Addy. He's going to have to fight back through these cars and get back up into a very good points-paying position. Oh, as Murcielago's hit the wall, he's lost some front wing, and now Ragnar's up the inside, and now Addy's going to try the mother of all switchbacks, and now he's got past Murcielago's. Murcielago's really struggling. as Addy's now trying to get past Ragno here. Down before the downhill left-hander. Is he going to try? No, he thinks better of it. Very, very wise driving there by Addy as he nearly loses the rear end. Oh my goodness, we're seeing quite a lot of drivers lose the rear end so far today around this circuit. Just shows you how much lack of grip there is for the drivers on circuit today. As now Ragno a little bit squeamish coming out of that corner, and Addy is going to absolutely fly past Ragno. It's not even a contest, as now Addy moves back up into P7, up past Ragno. Or does he? He runs wide, but so does Ragno. Ragno follows him, and he'll be quite relieved that he did not end up going in the wall there, Ragno. But here we go. We have Maverick, who of course I mentioned earlier. He's on the medium compounded tyres here. He's doing a very good job up in 4th place. He's just running his own race on these tyres now. I'd expect to see him to either go onto the hard or the soft compounded tyres towards the back end of this race. I don't know what he favours here, but it looks like the drivers are really struggling on the hard compounded tyres. And as that tyre goes further onto the race and more wear comes onto the tyre, I think being on that soft compounded tyre could really work out for Maverick, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. But we've got something to talk about at the front of this race. The gap is now within a second for Bolt and Ed. I don't think that Bolt will have DRS, or will he? Bolt does have DRS on Ed, and I think Ed is caught sleeping here as Bolt is getting an absolute massive amount. Is he going to chuck it up the inside? No, he isn't. I thought we were bound to see a chuck up the inside there, as Bolt had a mother of all slips of a run on Ed there, but he decided not to. I tell you what, if I had that much of a run, as Ed was caught sleeping, as Bolt just snuck into the DRS. He was trying, and there you go. You can see, if you just look on their screen, the yellow bar, Bolt has a significant amount more of ERS than Ed. Bolt probably has one third, whereas Ed doesn't have as much. As now Addy's got back up past Val into P6, and now he's going to be hunting down J Hobson UK after their little incident down into this very corner, which we've seen Addy in the wall right there. And Addy at the moment is driving very, very well, and I assume that gap is going to be caught up and will be screaming over the action between these two drivers very, very shortly. But now back up towards the front as we have Bolt and Ed once again coming just about to come through the last proper corner on this track. And now Bolt is a lot closer than what he was on the previous lap, and you saw how much he was able to gain, and he has about 40% of his ERS remaining. He's now got to chuck it up into overtake in any second. Surely we're going to have a change of lead here as Bolt is in the slipstream of Ed, the Mercedes, versus the Renault. As Bolt pulls to the outside line, he's going to get the job done before the finish line, and that's a very comfortable move there by Bolt. He did a fantastic job in the middle part of that lap to get close, and he's got the job done as Bolt. He's closed that gap. It was about 4 or 5 seconds after the pit stops, but now he's got back ahead, as now Ed is actually going to try and look to get past back Bolt with the DRS. Is he going to chuck it up the inside? Of course he is. Or he goes for a half-hearted move up the inside. He didn't really commit, did Ed? And now Bolt has confirmed his lead on lap 13 with 26 in this Grand Prix. Is now Addy has been, I can only assume, let through by J Hobson UK as he felt bad, because Addy was quite a ways back from J Hobson UK. It was about a second and a half. I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on there as Murcielago and Ragno have come into the pits. Oh, there's been some contact, only one can assume, between those two drivers, as they've had some front wing changes. So what's happened there? Keep your eyes posted on the Nemesis Online Racing League Twitter page for clips of that potentially happening, as those will be retweeted after the race, or posted after there's been a steward's decision. But now, it's the Mercedes. It's Ed's turn to get the DRS on Bolt, but he's actually losing some time. And as I mentioned before, I think Bolt might be running a little bit less wing than Ed on this track. And look, indeed, Bolt is pulling away pretty much with the DRS. He's not gaining at all. He's not gaining at all. He a second there, did Ed down the main straight. What on earth is going on? I know he has a considerable less amount of ERS than Bolt. There you go. You can see on with the left bar on the steering wheel. But wow, Bolt is really in a strong position in this race now. He's now broken the DRS barrier, and Bolt is looking very, very strong in this race. He just seems to have the race pace advantage on Ed at the moment, and it looks like he's going to be trying to gun for his first race victory of the season. As of course, it hasn't been as smooth sailing as what it was in the F2 Championship for Bolt. Let's see if the F2 Championship winner can get his first win here in the F1 League. But now we have Jay Hobson UK trying to get past Val down the second straight, and yes, he's going to get past Val up into 6th place as Jay Hobson UK. And I tell you what, these drivers have added Jay Hobson UK, Val, Murcielago, Hereford, Ragno have all been squabbling all so much this race, and it really has been fantastic to see them produce some great entertainment. And of course, this is where the main battles happen, whether or not it's in a video game or in real life. It's the midfield battles which keep the entertainment going throughout the race, and it's great to see when squabbles like this to be viewed when they're actually properly going for us. Now Murcielago and Ragno, after their little trip into the pit lane, are once again squabbling with each other as they're now on the medium compound tyres, and they're looking to go to the end, but they are now quite a ways away from where they should really be, and that is up in about 8th or 9th. But I think it's very possible that these drivers can get 9th and 8th as they're seconds behind 9th placed Hereford. Or was Murcielago there, goes a little bit too deep and nearly collects the back of Ragno. Certainly not what you want to be doing if you've just pitted for a new front wing, as now Val is trying to overtake Jay Hobson UK, but nothing doing down the main straight. Is a little bit too far back. Let's see if he can try and close that gap through the middle part of the lap, and then try and get the move done when it comes to the end of this very current lap. But just going back up to the front of the race now, Bolt is really putting a tremendous stint here. He has been much, much quicker than Ed. You've got to give him credit where credit's due, and at the moment he's looking quite comfortable. Of course, it is a very difficult street circuit, and of course you have to stay alert on a street circuit, and mistakes can be made. He has a 2-second lead at the moment. Very impressive drive this, as certainly only about 4 or 5 laps ago the gap was about 2 seconds, but he's pulled it back and is well and truly in control of this race at the moment. But he's still, if he makes a mistake, he's still there within Ed's reach, so it's certainly not going to be over. As now Ragno and Murcielago are squabbling again, as it looked like Ragno had let Murcielago through there actually. Yeah, as now Val, as I mentioned, he's gotten closer through this middle part of the lap, and let's see if he can get a good run out here. The last proper corner, he gets a pretty solid run. Jay Hobson UK gets a very, very good run out of that corner indeed, and Val nearly hits the inside. Oh, both these drivers nearly hit the wall actually, but now Val with that high ERS mode. Let's see, as we've got Chiller Killer coming into the pits now. Oh, and is Val going to come into pits? No, but Chiller Killer, another penalty, and he's actually going to have to serve a 5-second penalty here as he sped into the pit lane the first time. So two mistakes in two of the same mistakes in the same race by Chiller Killer. Not what you want indeed. Is Val a little bit late on the brakes there, nearly running into the back of Jay Hobson UK. But I thought Val might have been a little bit close there, but he wasn't. After he had got everything. Well, after he'd closed the gap through the middle and the last part of that lap, he just was unable to get that run, as it looks like Maverick has just let through Addy, trying to run his own race, and it looks like he's certainly not going to be going on to the hard compounded tyres. He's indeed going to be going on to the soft compounded tyres in the later facet of this Grand Prix. But the gap to first from second to third is absolutely monumental. It's 33 seconds. The top two drivers just beat a class above the rest of the field today, as Murcielago and Ragnar are squabbling over position again. This time Murcielago is back in front of Ragnar for P10, as Lazar is in the pits for a front wing change. For a rough day for Lazar, the Greek, on what can be a very punishing circuit, that is for sure. But now Bolt, speaking of comfortable, he's now pulled out another second to make that gap a little bit more comfortable, as he's now really controlling this race over the Mercedes. Super impressive drive. As Maverick, he really still is running very strong on these medium compounder tyres. He's seen the leaders pit on lap 6 to go off the soft compounded tyre, and of course that is when they did a qualifying lap on them. So I say in about 2 laps time, on lap 19 or so, they'd be looking to come into the pits. And now we've got Val coming into the pits, and what's going on here? Is he going to go on? He's going to go on. Oh, Val, that's outside the white lines, mate. Naughty, naughty. As well, at least some of the tyres are not. I didn't quite see. I wasn't fully paying attention, I must admit. But Val onto the medium compounded tyre now, looking to try some fresh rubber in the last stint of the race. He's had enough of those medium compounded tyres. They're obviously not feeling tremendously great. He's decided to switch off them to a much fresher set of medium compound tyres, and he's got his teammate Chiller Killer up ahead of him, who he can look to overtake. But of course, Chiller Killer had just pitted the lap beforehand and got a 5-second penalty, so he won't be any easier to overtake than anyone else, that's for sure. As Ragnar's got himself back up past Murcielago now, and I'm sure that one of these drivers will be looking to make sure that this battle ends, because them squabbling for position like that only hurts their race. As now Maverick continues on for another lap. I expect him to pit at the end of the next lap, but he certainly is doing a very, very good job running a very super consistent race. And this race is going to come into his hands right here, as J Hobson UK is pitted off the medium compounded tyres, and he's going to come onto the soft compounded tyres. And Maverick, with his terrific stint here on the medium compounded tyres, has really brought himself into this race for potentially even a P3 if Addy is to pit again. As well, I think the very least that Maverick is on for is a P4, if I'm perfectly honest. This has been a superb drive by Maverick, as I kind of tipped my hat off to at the start of the race. I said watch out for him, and watch out indeed, as Scull's down the runoff road. I think he's just letting cars through there, as I don't think he's enjoyed his race too much at all. It's J Hobson UK here. Let's see, I actually haven't used any of this today, which has been very bad of me. And indeed, there you go, Maverick. Remember, he started at the back of the field after he crashed out turn 2 in qualifying, up in P4 at the moment, and it looks like that is where he could very well finish after he makes his pit stop. There you go, he's the only driver not to make a pit stop, whereas Chiller Killer and Val have made 2 stops. And of course the leaders, top 3, Bolt, Ed and Addy, have all made 1 stop. But now Bolt, 4-second gap over Ed. He's looking very comfortably out in front of this race, and well, I think it'd be a major shock if he does not end up winning this race, the way things are going. And there you go, you can see Maverick on 17 lap old medium compound tyres, whilst the other drivers weren't willing to go that long on the hard compounded tyres. He's gone that long on the medium compounded tyres. It's been a fantastic drive by Maverick, it really has. but I think his time has run on that tyre. No, he actually is going to continue for another lap, which is quite interesting. Yeah, I think he'll pit at the end of this lap and go onto the soft compound tyre. And yeah, his rear tyres are absolutely shot. Look at that, as he tries to put any throttle on, his car just loses traction. And he can't accelerate out of the corner, so Maverick desperately needs a new, fresh set of tyres. And we will see that at the end of this lap, one can only presume. But the main people he's going to be battling towards the end of this race are Chiller Killer and Val for P5, or who are going to be in P4 and P5. So we're going to see a very exciting end to this race between the two Alphas and the Merc of Maverick. And let's see if any of the leaders decide to pit. Who knows? We've seen a lot of the midfield give up on the hard compound tyres, but I think that the top three will be much more disciplined. They'll decide to stay on the hard compounded tyre, stick to the one stop, which is going to be the quicker route to the end of this race for sure. That's why you're seeing Maverick jump up from P17 to all the way up to what is currently P4. And now let's see if Maverick decides to come into the pits, and indeed he is going to come into the pits, and now he's going to make sure that he doesn't speed, as we've seen 3 or 4 drivers get some penalties for speeding the pit lane. He certainly does not speed into the pit lane as he goes about 30 kilometers underneath the speed limit, and indeed he's going to go on the soft compounded tyres, so we're going to have a flying Mercedes towards the end of this race. And here's Chiller Killer down the main straight. He's going to get past quite comfortably, and so is Val, I believe, although Val might be very close here with Val. Val on the outside, he's just going to get ahead of Maverick, but Maverick is right on his tail, and on those fresh set of soft compound tyres, he's going to be looking to make his impact on this race. Immediately is the Brit, as Ragnar has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And look how much more grip Maverick has on those tyres. He's able to brake so much more later, and I think that Val is going to have to put up a mighty effort to hold off Maverick here. As we're on lap 21 out of 26 here in Azerbaijan. Round number 4, of course, as Bolt has really put on a fine display of driving so far, as he now has a 3.5 second lead, so the gap has come down a little bit. But I'm sure Bolt won't be too concerned at the moment. It's just as we're speaking, it's going to go back up to 4 seconds. Yep, there we go. Commentator's curse, perfectly striking there. But Maverick, if he stays just close enough about where he is at the moment, as they are now about to come through the last proper corner on the circuit, or as he's run a little bit deep there, and that's going to allow Val a very good exit, of course. Is he going to be able to be close enough? He's got a whole heap of ERS, whereas I don't think Val's going to have that much. Val's struggling for ERS indeed. He's in medium at the moment. He's not even going to try and fight it, as Maverick now puts it in the medium ERS, and he's got to go around the outside of the Italian driver, and he's going to get the move done. Fantastic job there by Maverick on the soft compounded tyre to move up past Val into P5. Just Val could not hold him off whatsoever, and now Maverick has his sights set on Chiller Killer up in P4. But of course Chiller Killer does have a penalty. He has a 5-second time penalty, so at the moment it doesn't really matter. But of course it'll be nice to see some on-track battling in the final stages of this race, as Val here is just trying to stick with him, trying to use Maverick to just bring him ever closer to Chiller Killer. And I must say he's doing pretty well through the middle sector here. He's obviously not going to be quicker than Maverick, but if he's able to keep up with Maverick, oh, never mind, through the castle section, and he's gone deep there, and that's bye-bye to Val's chances of getting some DRS to drag him along to the back of Chiller Killer. Poor mistake there by Val, but I'm sure he's pretty happy with his performance so far today. P6 It's a pretty fine result, as now Bolt is actually extending his gap even more out to 5 seconds. Out to now 5.5 seconds. The Renault driver is on fire. Bolt, TBD, is driving a fantastic race. And I'm sure he'll just want it to be over, because it can be so to lose your right front wheel or your left front wheel in that castle section. I've done it myself. I've nearly bottled it myself in the final laps of a Grand Prix around this racetrack, starting from last as well. That was a classic race back in 2016, I think it was, or 2017, I can't remember. It was a long time ago now, but it's certainly never over until you see the checkered flag around this circuit. But now, Val has had an awful lap here. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Maverick, when it was, well, only a second the last time I was on board with Val. But Maverick is now really closing up to the back of Chilico. He's gained about 8 tenths or so over the last lap. And now on lap 23, well, these guys lap on lap 22, but now the leader is on lap 23. He doesn't have much time left, and he needs to try and get this move done. Of course, these soft tyres don't stay for very long. They do wear out very, very quickly. So Maverick will be looking to take full advantage of the tyre grip advantage that he has at the moment, and close up to the back of Chilico, and then try to hang on and survive in P4. And I'd assume he has quite a considerable amount of... No, both drivers have a good amount of ERS there. Maverick on about 60%. Chilico on about 33 now, as both drivers absolutely draining it as they come down the main straight. Chilico actually in overtake, as he's actually got the slipstream here of Lazar the Greek to really help him down the main straight, as Lazar gets out of the way very kindly there. He does a very good job. Does the Williams driver, he's now actually all over the back of Chilico as they go through turn 1. But that's made sure that Maverick hasn't caught up, at least down that straight. And now, actually, Chilico has used all of his ERS. That is a very, very odd. And now he's on 10%, and Maverick is on 46%. And even though you still have, obviously, ERS, the lower you run it, the worse it performs. So Maverick here's now got a massive advantage, and that's a massive misplay there by Chilico. If Maverick can catch up through the corners, I really do fancy him to get past. If he can catch up, I think he'll absolutely breeze past him down the straight. We've seen earlier with Bolt, when he caught up to the back of Ed on the first occasion, that he was just within a second, and he nearly was able to make a move down into turn 1. It does not take much at all. Maverick just really needs to gain time through the corners, and he should be able to do so with the soft compounded tyres on, but he hasn't really gained too much on Chilico in the previous lap or so. It looks like the gap is stabilised, and that is not what you want to be doing if you're Maverick. Running wide there at the proper last corner, and that's going to cost him a hell of a lot of time now. And as you can see, Chilico isn't even running ERS down the straight because of his mistake earlier on. So Maverick, if he actually got a proper run, he could be well within about a second and a half away from Chilico here, but that mistake being rather costly for him, as he's still got quite a bit more ERS than Chilico. But Ed is now really struggling on these hard compound tyres. He's 8.5 seconds away from Bolt, as now Bolt is, well, dominating this race. He really is, as he's now coming through the S's, as he's about to end lap 24 and go on to lap 25, the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. He's getting a very nice slipstream there from Lolo in the Racing Points car, who's in P10 currently, and Ed has decided to pit. He has a massive gap over Addy, and he's going to go and get that fastest lap point. Well, you'd assume he'd get that fastest lap point, and here you go. He's Oh, he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding into pit lane earlier. Yep, that's right. And away he goes. He has a gap to Addy. He's going to go and set the fastest lap on the soft compound tyre. Smart little call there by Addy. Sorry, by Ed. But here we go, Maverick now. Doesn't make the same mistake in this last part of the track, but Chillkill's literally been running on no ERS for what is going to be the whole entire lap, as he's now on 0 ERS as he's halfway down the straight. Mate, turn your ERS on, as now you're losing an absolute mile to Maverick. If Maverick was to turn up his ERS to overtake, he'd be absolutely right on the back of him here, but he hasn't. Of course, he doesn't know what ERS Chillkiller is on, but now the gap is 1.5 seconds, and if Maverick is able to get within a second by the end of this lap, he may have a chance. But Chillkiller has seemingly forgotten about his ERS. He's not using it, and Maverick is closing up here. This could be a fatal mistake here by Chillkiller not to use his ERS. Is he all just saving up for the last lap, which he uses? What is it even? Attack mode? I can't even remember. I don't race on the game as much as I used to. But Maverick, he's just outside that 1 second window, as now the leader is on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Bolt. He should be. Oh, as Maverick gets so close to the wall here, as he's trying absolutely everything to get past, or to close that gap to Chillkiller here on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. As they head down into that ever so difficult braking zone, which is the downhill left-hander. But now we've seen Maverick make mistakes through this corner before. Oh, and Val's retired from this session. Oh, he's crashed in the castle section! Disaster on the penultimate lap for the Italian driver. And now the leaders are going to have to be super careful as they're coming up. Bolt has actually gone through unscathed, but Ed now also needs to be wary when he comes up towards that. But now, Chillkiller is absolutely going to run his ERS flat out on the last couple of laps. He's allowed Maverick to get close by doing so. Oh, and the Alpha's gone into the wall. I think he's lost some front wing there, has Chillkiller. Yes, indeed he has. And now Maverick is within 1 second, and he is looking at a wounded animal up in front of him, as now Bolt is going to come down the main straight, and he's going to collect his first victory of the season. It's been 2 second places in a row, but he's going to break that with a W. And what a performance that is by Bolt. He utterly dominated that race, getting past Ed after the pit stops, and that is a terrific result for the Renault driver, and he'll be thoroughly pleased with that. But now we're going to go back to Maverick and Chillkiller, as now we've got Lola also retiring as well. What is going on the last couple of laps here? Lyson the Greek, I don't know if he's a lap down from Lola or not, but he may well sneak up into 10th place somehow, as Ed sets the fastest lap the Grand Prix at 1:41.3. That is an absolute wicked time. But here we go. Maverick now is gonna have the DRS as they come towards the finish line on this final lap of the Grand Prix. But Chillkiller's had a very good exit there, and now Maverick is gonna have to use absolutely everything as he's now in the slipstream, as now Chillkiller is weaving over the straight. That is also legal. But now in the slipstream with the DRS, he's closing, but he cannot get there. Maverick, of course, goes up into 4th with Chillkiller's penalty after he spent the pit lane a second time. But what an end to that race. I thought Maverick might have got that job done there, and from 17th to 4th place, Maverick absolutely has to be driver of the day. What a performance by the Mercedes driver on the one stop, when the rest of the midfield and the rest of the drivers did a 2-stop. Terrific performance. And also, of course, as I mentioned, Bolt, what a performance. He had about 3 to 4 second gap. Well, he's 3 to 4 seconds behind Ed as he come out the pits as he got held as they both pit on the same lap 6. And he closed that gap and got it out to about 9 seconds before Ed decided to pit with 2 laps remaining to go and get that fastest lap. And indeed he did go and set that fastest lap. But that is a step in the right direction for Bolt, and he's very happy with that. Finally a win in the F1 series. Only took me since F1 2016. Well, of course, you were commentating, and now that I've retired from the league, it's your job to take over. So Casters United on that one. And also thanks to Jack Marsh for your very nice comment in there saying, great cast once again, mate. Thanks for providing the great entertainment and keeping the race interesting. So thank you once again for that. But now we'll go through the final classifications here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, round number 4, the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship. And there we go. We have Bolt winning the race from Ed, and then third is Addy with a very solid drive. Once again, another podium for the Brit. And now we have Maverick in 4th, all the way from 17. Chiller Killer, of course. A very strong result. Of course, it could have been a lot better. I'm sorry, I've now died. That was a very solid performance, but it could have been better, of course, if he didn't spin the pit lane the second time. He would have been in P4. Jay Hobson in 6th, Murcielago 7th, Ragnar in 8th. Murcielago and Ragnar was squabbling the whole entire race. Hereford in 9th, Lazar in 10th, Lola Power in 11th. Val and Lola both crashed out in the final moments of the race, and they finished outside the points. Skull in 13th, Dania Bin Lahar in 14th, and then I'm just waiting for me to go down to the bottom. There you go. Anil in 15th. And I've gone past it again. Apologies. And there you go. Testameister in 16th, and the G-Man in 17th. But that has been a fantastic and quality race here at Azerbaijan, and I cannot wait for the next race out in Spain for round number 5 in the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship. And of course, I will be back once again next week, and we will see you at what is it, 9:30 Central European time next week. Yes, yes indeed it is 9:30 Central European time, 8:30 UK time, 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings time. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week, guys, and thanks for coming along and watching this race, and I all hope that you do really have a fantastic day, and we'll all see you later.